Hello and welcome to This is Public Health. I'm Pamela Kirkland with the Columbus Health Department, and today we're going to be talking about a program that has been in existence for quite a few years. It's a federal program that helps lots of families all over the country. It's WIC, Women, Infants, and Children. And with us today is Carrie Rayborn, who is a breastfeeding coordinator and nutritionist with WIC. So she has all the answers to all the questions that we're going to get to today.
Absolutely.
So welcome, Carrie. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
All right, so explain a little bit more about Women, Infants, and Children's. What all are the parameters of that program?
So just as the name implies, our focus is women, infants, and children. Women being pregnant women, postpartum women, and breastfeeding women. Our children age from birth to age 5, so we have a good range of clientele that we support.
Okay, so you say women, infants, and children. So that means, like, if you're a breastfeeding counselor, people might wonder, well, what about that? How does that work with WIC? You know, is it just for pregnant women or?
So it's for pregnant women. So we want to, the purpose behind the program is its origination is a nutrition education program.
Okay.
And so our goal is to provide nutrition education early in pregnancy so that the woman that is pregnant can go ahead and begin eating right, provide adequate nutrition for her infant that is not quite here yet, and then carry on that education as the baby is born. Breastfeeding fits in beautifully because it is the best nutrition that you can provide your infant. And so we want to support those women that are breastfeeding their infants.
So what do you say to a woman who is like on the fence? Say, you know, she's heard that it's really good for her baby, but she's not sure. Maybe it's going to hurt. You know, what is it? You know, are all the breastfeeding counselors, are those all women and moms who have breastfed?
Absolutely. That is the basis of they're called our breastfeeding peer counselors. And all of these women have breastfed their babies. They are either currently WIC participants themselves or have been a WIC participant, so they can relate to our moms. And our peer counselors are great with that encouragement and that support. Our breastfeeding moms need the encouragement and support, and so if a mom is on the fence, we really encourage them to enroll in the peer counselor program, which is a piece of WIC, to get that support and help her through those times that tend to be a little tough.
Right, yeah. Now, if they choose not to breastfeed, hopefully it's just a very small percentage.
Right, that's right.
How does WIC help them with that?
So WIC, if you choose not to breastfeed, then we do have a formula that we can offer as part of one of our benefits through WIC.
Okay, so and the formulas now are really more enhanced, aren't they? Since, like, I've breastfed my children, but that was a long time ago.
Right.
But so now it's like they have extra not additives, but, you know, minerals, and they're finding out so much more about the formulas now. So
that's right. So basically with formulas, what they're trying to do is they're trying to recreate formula to mimic breast milk. You can't exactly recreate breast milk 100% because it is tailored to the specific baby and what that baby needs based on mom and baby's relationship. But the formula companies are trying to, you know, enhance the formulas and make sure that they do meet those nutritional needs for baby.
Okay, so a woman doesn't have to be expecting to start with WIC. If she's already had her baby, then she can come in and get that help as well, right?
Absolutely, yes.
You know, and I think it's so important for the breastfeeding concept because it is the absolute best thing to do. And, you know, a long time ago, there wasn't a lot of support.
That's right.
You know, and this is a wonderful thing because there's times when, you know, you just want to quit, or, you know, you just don't think you can do it anymore, or you might have some issues with it, and you've got somebody right there alongside you to encourage you and keep going.
Absolutely. Our peer counselors are wonderful for encouragement, support, and then if a mom is having difficulties that goes beyond their scope of practice, then they refer to me. I'm the lactation consultant for the district, for West Central Health District and the WIC program. So from there, we work with moms, and then I refer as I need to get that mom and baby supported as they need.
Okay, so the infant portion of the program is for infants up to, I guess, until they become toddlers.
That's
and then
right.
it's the children is up to age 5?
Age 5, that's
okay.
right.
So what type of services are given to the children? Say the mom isn't breastfeeding or anything, that she just has like a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old
Right.
or something. How do you help those families?
So with those families, it's based, mom would not qualify for the program because she's not pregnant or breastfeeding. So we focus on those children and we provide nutrition appropriate foods for children at their age. We do the types of foods, for example, would be fruits and vegetables. We basically cover all of the food groups and make sure that as a whole we are providing a good foundation of nutrition for those children.
Okay, so they get specific, there's specific foods. It's not like the EBT program where they could buy anything.
Correct.
There's specific food groups
Absolutely,
that
yes.
they get the vouchers
And
for.
currently we have paper vouchers, which we're very excited within 2020, we're going to be going to what is going to be called WIC, and it is going to be a card
Great.
Much like EBT. And so we're very excited for that. As of right now, we're on the paper, the checks, and on
Right.
each one of the vouchers, it lists the type of food and the amount of that food that they can receive. And it's not brand specific, so we eat, we all kind of have our likings to a certain brand, so you can
Right.
choose the brand as long as it fits the parameters of the size and the type of food.
So it's a dollar amount on the voucher, or is it for like a pound of cheese or 2 gallons of
A
apple
size amount,
juice or
absolutely.
something like
a
that?
quantity, not necessarily a price. A dollar amount we do use for our fresh fruits and vegetables. That is a dollar amount voucher.
Okay, and so is there any limit to the number of children that are in a family? Like,
There's no limit.
as long as they're under age
That's right.
5?
As long as they
right?
meet the qualifications, there's no limit.
Okay, so the qualifications are based on income guidelines, correct? And so there's certain income guidelines for each
Family size.
family size,
Absolutely.
correct? Okay, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute.
Okay.
We're going to take a short break, and then we will be right back, so stay with us.
Some say e-cigarettes aren't dangerous,
But science shows nicotine can harm teens' developing brains.
no matter how they're exposed.
Let's do an experiment to find out.
Here's a teen who won't be using e-cigarettes.
Now we need one willing to risk their brain development.
Anyone care to volunteer your kid?
Anyone?
I'm Dr. Vivek Murthy, U.S. Surgeon General. Your kids are not an experiment. Protect them from e-cigarettes.
Welcome back, everyone, to This is Public Health. We are talking with Carrie Rayborn from the WIC program, and we're going to talk about some of the income guidelines right now because they're a lot different than what you might think, aren't they, Carrie?
They absolutely are. Income guidelines come out each year, new income guidelines. So for our current income guidelines, which you'll see on the screen, an example would be for a household size of 4 members, the annual income is $47,638. So that does look different than I think what most people would expect.
It was a lot different than what I thought,
Right,
I'll tell you
absolutely.
that. Yeah. What about some others? Like, people aren't always the 4-family size.
That's right.
you
So,
know?
I mean, when we were talking about pregnant women, so sometimes you may have a single household size, so just the pregnant woman herself, and her income would be $23,107 annually would qualify her for the program.
Okay, and then once she has the baby, then it goes to 2, right?
And so then you're looking at $31,284 annually to qualify.
You know, the one thing that I was surprised about is that somebody told me that families may not be eligible for food stamps
Correct.
assistance, but they could be eligible for WIC.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I think that's probably something that maybe a lot of people don't realize. They think if they didn't get one service that they wouldn't be eligible for
That's
another.
right, absolutely. So please, even if you're not eligible for food stamps, it's worth a shot to come and see if you are eligible for WIC. And these income guidelines, which you can find on our website, you can look and refer to that. And if you have questions, please give us a call. We would love to help you over the phone or just come in and see us. Walk-ins are always welcome.
Okay, so even though it's women, infants, and children,
That's
there are some situations that you have that are people who still would be eligible, which I didn't know about.
Absolutely. So an example of that would be a child that is in foster care. So the foster parents can come in and receive benefits for that child that is in the foster care system.
Now, and this is without their income, regardless
That's right.
of their income.
Exactly, because at this point we're looking at benefits for this child, just on its own, his or her own.
And I heard that people who are on Medicaid are automatically eligible?
Automatically eligible, automatically qualify.
Okay, that's
As long
great.
as you're a Georgia resident. So for our purposes, we're Georgia WIC, so you must reside in the state of Georgia.
Okay, so not all moms have custody of their children.
Right.
So what about dads who might be in that situation?
Very same situation, instance, similar to foster. Parents with dad, we would take into account dad's income for that child, but dad absolutely can come in and bring the child in to qualify for the program.
Okay, so dads out there, you hear that?
That's right.
Come on in because you might be
Please.
eligible. Get some good help for your children. All right, and on the same note, grandparents may have custody of the children,
That's right.
so they're also able
Absolutely.
to come in.
Sure.
That's really surprising.
Yes.
I had no idea. I thought for all these years it was just women.
And it
infants
had to be
children.
mom,
Yeah,
and it had to be their
yeah.
children. But if the child would benefit from the program, is in the care and custody of another adult that happens to not be mom or dad, then absolutely we still want to support that child.
That is just great. All right, so take us through, Carrie, what happens on the first visit. Say a family comes in with the children, because it's not just about nutrition and the food vouchers. It's also some other very important things that you do with this child.
That's right, absolutely. So if you're interested in coming to apply for WIC, we encourage you to give us a call. I'll also go over some information that you will need to bring. So there are some documents that we need in order to qualify you. So for income basis, we'll need proof of income.
Right.
Residence, we'll need you to bring proof of address, either with a utility bill that's in your name, or if you're living with someone, a utility bill in their name with a letter stating that you reside with them.
Oh, okay.
And then if you are, as we stated earlier, on Medicaid, if you have Medicaid, bring your Medicaid card in, and that will be in place of the income.
Okay.
And so once you come in, you're going to check in. We're going to get your intake, put you in the system. Then you'll go back, and to help us with our nutrition education, we get a few anthropometric data. So we get.
I'm sorry, what was that word?
So we like to get child or mom's height and weight, because we have to assess that nutrition status, and so those are two concrete figures that we can get to help us begin our assessment. And then as another screening piece is hemoglobin, which is another one of those words that is like, what?
So you like a blood sample or a blood test.
Right. To help us screen for your child's iron levels, low iron or high.
That makes sense.
Adequate
Absolutely.
iron.
Yeah.
And so once you go through that, then you'll go back and you'll talk with the nutritionist, and we'll touch on those screenings, the information we got from the heights and weights and hemoglobin. We'll help you set up a nutrition plan if you would like to do that, and we hope to help you do that. That works for the whole family, not just one specific family member. And once that is finished, then you will get your vouchers, and you are good. And as long as we have everything when you come in, your vouchers, you get 3 months worth of vouchers.
That day.
That day.
That very first day.
Yes,
That's great.
that day. So if you qualify, we will see you that day.
That's really good. In this age of slow-moving government agencies,
Absolutely.
that's tremendous. That really is.
And
good
our
news.
goal is to, have you through the process in an hour. So it'll take you no longer than an hour being absolute max. And so we really
That's phenomenal, Carrie. That really is.
With platinum customer service, of course.
Absolutely. Okay, so one of the things, though, that I've heard about is because our environmental health department deals with lead. We have a Healthy Homes coordinator. What happens in the situation where you get, say, some blood work back on a child and say they have been exposed to lead?
So as far as WIC goes, we're not getting those types of lab samples back at that visit. If in our conversation, we're a referral program. WIC not only is a nutrition program, but a referral program. So we're always talking to our families about lead and the risks of lead exposure. The pediatricians are now screening for that lead exposure. So we always like to make sure we talk to our clients about talking to your doctor, making sure you're having that lead screening, especially if you know that you're living in, a lot of times, an older home, built and painted in the 70s. So those are things that we definitely refer back to the provider, medical provider.
That's really a good thing to know, because it's not just about food.
That's right.
It's about the whole child and the health of the family as well.
Absolutely.
So, well, great. Now, I know that WIC does some pretty interesting things that are not normal to other WIC departments. One of them is WIC on Wheels.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to talk about when we come back, so don't go away.
Some say e-cigarettes aren't dangerous,
But science shows nicotine can harm teens' developing brains.
no matter how they're exposed.
Let's do an experiment to find out.
Here's a teen who won't be using e-cigarettes.
Now we need one willing to risk their brain development.
Anyone care to volunteer your kid?
Anyone?
I'm Dr. Vivek Murthy, U.S. Surgeon General. Your kids are not an experiment. Protect them from e-cigarettes.
Welcome back. Now we're going to find out a bit about WIC on Wheels.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, which I like to call the Wow Mobile.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
That is really something that not many other WIC programs are doing, is
Absolutely. You're exactly right. In Georgia, if I'm correct, we are the only WIC program in Georgia currently that has a mobile WIC unit. I believe South Carolina may have a mobile WIC unit, but it's very interesting and it's very unique. And what we like to try to take into consideration is transportation. Transportation sometimes is an issue, and in Columbus, where we're different from Atlanta, we don't have such an accessible transportation system in the city. So we like to take WIC to our participants.
Now, whose idea was this? I mean, this is kind of really outside the box.
So our WIC director, Miss Brenda Foreman, always is thinking outside of the box. And so she got wind of this, and I believe it was from South Carolina. Don't hold me to that, but and she wanted to say, her thing is, let's do it. It makes sense. Let's try it. We can do it. If they can do it, we can do it. And so we have now had WIC on Wheels for about 5 years.
That's amazing.
I believe 5 years, and it is doing wonderful things. It has lots of services, mainly going to areas where transportation is more difficult for our clients. We go to some of the public housing authorities or the public housing areas. We take WIC on Wheels to health fairs to promote WIC and to get that out there that this program is still in existence, and it is still very important.
Right. I'm sure that
and valuable.
That when that happens, excuse me, you must get people to sign up when you go on those health fairs.
It's a full functioning clinic. It's just a full functioning clinic on wheels. So we have a nutritionist available. We're still getting those heights and weights. We're providing that nutrition education, and we're making those referrals on the road.
That's really great.
So if there's anyone out there that is having some transportation difficulties getting back to the WIC clinic, you've been a participant, you're having a hard time getting back to us, you can contact Miss Betty Jordan, who is our coordinator for the WIC on Wheels, and her number is 706-326-0962 for more information, or even to find out our schedule and set up a time so that we can come and help meet you halfway.
Right. Well, now another thing that you guys do that I recently went to was a farmer's market, And I know that you do this in other counties, not just
Absolutely.
Columbus.
Absolutely.
But it was so great to see all this fresh fruit and vegetables and just all kinds of stuff there. And it was just for the WIC participants.
That's right.
Tell us about that and how that got started.
So Farmers Market, it has been around for a long time. I'm not even really sure of the year that it started.
How long have you been with WIC?
I have been with WIC for about 9.5 years.
Okay, so it was in existence when you got there. Okay.
Full swing, had been in existence years before.
Okay.
And it is, it happens once a year. We normally target the summertime. That's when, you know, the best fruits and veggies are available.
Right.
And it's targeting Georgia farmers. So we
Great.
really are promoting our local farmers, our homegrown fruits and vegetables.
So you just have local farmers here in the area
That's right.
that work with you guys to provide their wares
Absolutely.
at the farmers market.
Absolutely.
That's great.
It's overseen by USDA, so and USDA provides additional funding so that we can provide additional fruits and vegetable benefits to our participants. So this is not, you do not get, it's not one of those situations where you bring in your vouchers that you've already received. This is additional
Okay.
funding for fresh fruits and vegetables. So for example, this year, in particular, we were able to provide $30 worth of fresh fruits and vegetables for every participant receiving
Wow,
WIC.
that's great.
So it has not been that case every year, but this year that was the case, and it was wonderful. It was well received, and it was so much fun. We know the participants love it, the staff love it, and of course, you know, the farmers love getting out there. and
Absolutely.
providing
That
it.
benefits everybody. That's really
Absolutely.
great.
Absolutely.
Okay, so before we go, let us know where all the WIC offices are. I know we're in Columbus.
That's right.
But if you're not in Columbus, or if you might be in Alabama or someplace, where can you go to find out about WIC?
Right. So
in your area?
Here in Columbus, we're located in the health department, as with all of our surrounding counties. So if you live outside of Muskogee County and you're interested in WIC, contact your local health department. We have WIC clinics in all local health departments, as well as we also have a Fort Benning WIC clinic. So we have
Okay.
a clinic out on post, and so you can contact the WIC office, our 1-800 number, which I'll give you in just a minute, to find out exactly where maybe your health department is if you're not sure, or where your WIC clinic is. If you're not a Georgia resident and say you live in Alabama, since we're real close, contact your local health department in your county.
Okay, great. And so we do have WIC offices, like she said, in all our health departments. In the West Central District, we have 16
That's right.
counties, so we have 16 WIC offices. And in Columbus, we are located in the Health and Human Services Building, which is at 2100 Comer Avenue in Columbus. It's in Midtown. It's not far from Piedmont Midtown Regional.
That's right.
And we're on the second floor. Make sure everybody
right.
knows
Yes,
that.
second floor.
And our telephone number is 706-321-6300 if you have any questions about the health department. And Carrie, what is the number for WIC?
So for WIC, we have a 1-800 number. It's 1-800-789-5502. And you can also look us up on the web. You can go to our
Absolutely.
website at columbushealth.com and get more information there.
And columbushealth.com will give you a listing of all our counties. So if you live in any of the surrounding counties, you can click on there. You'll find out all the information about that county, the programs that are offered at each location, and their contact information as well. So thank you so much, Carrie,
Absolutely.
for
Thank
being
you.
with us. This was great.
Yes.
I hope all of you found out a lot of information about WIC and can tell all your friends and neighbors.
Yes,
And
please
come
do.
on down
Come
and
see
visit
us.
us. Absolutely. Thank you for joining us on This is Public Health. We'll see you next time.